Life Academy would like to acknowledge the traditional custodians of the land that we record this podcast on.
Trigger warning for this episode, we discuss adult themes, body image, diet culture, and it contains some coarse language, so please be aware if you have little ears around. Hello
And
welcome to Life Academy. I'm your host, Dina Amy Kaplan.
And I'm your co-host, Alicia Bennett.
On-screen frenemies,
To real life besties.
stumbling our way through
this
life.
thing called life. Ah.
How are you, my love?
Oh, just as good as you think I am from that reaction.
Tell me, what's going on?
My nervous system is out of control. So my baby girl is a little bit sick. And you know when your kid is sick and it's just the most uncomfortable feeling and you don't sleep because
It's
you're
terror.
like watching them sleep to make sure that they're still breathing. It's just, this has been a couple of weeks of like her being a little bit sick, and we ended up at the hospital, and then she was totally fine and better, and then like last night just came back on again. And so PTSD from like the hospital experience of just like, it's been a lot. So I'm feeling super touched out and just a little bit yuck.
Yeah.
So I'm really looking forward to today.
Yeah, just sort of getting out of your own shit and what's going on. And
Pretty much.
oh, it's so hectic.
It
When
feels
your
very
baby's
hectic.
sick, I get it. My nervous system just doesn't cope
It's
with
just
it very
scary. I think it's just really,
really
scary.
scary.
Because as well, like,
well. You're the responsible adult.
I've got to make sure that she's all right.
Yeah.
And you ask her, like, what hurts? Does anything hurts? And today she was like, it's my eye. I was like, oh, baby. And she goes, I think we need to get the scissors. I go, we're going to cut it out. She goes, let's chop it out.
Chop it out. Chop out the eye. Oh, my God. Bless her.
So obviously, like, you know, she's not feeling her best and she just wants to, she goes, can we have a snuggle on the couch? So yes, my little baby, we can.
That's like, for me, one of the only good things about when Maya's sick is she wants to snuggle, because she's not actually she's not a big snuggler.
Yeah.
But when she's sick, she gets really snuggly, and I kind of love it.
Oh, it's
but I
kinda
don't
nice,
love that
isn't
she's
it?
sick.
Isla like wraps herself around me and she goes, squeeze.
Oh.
She's so sweet.
Bless. Well, I'm sorry that,
babe.
you know, you're feeling that and going through that, but it will get better.
It will get better. It is
Yeah.
okay. I've just got to breathe, and I'm excited for today. It's going to be a lovely day here, and your calm is making me calm. How are you? How's your week been?
I'm really good. I'm
Great.
I'm having a really good day. I feel like I've had a really good few weeks with my mental health, and when that happens, like when I get a good run like this, I just feel so full of gratitude, because that's so often not the case for me. So I just feel really good. I'm sleeping really well, which makes the biggest difference for me. And I'm just feeling like motivated and positive. I'm finished all my assignments for this semester. So I'm like, and I'm like also just loving the podcast and the creativity, and you know me, like I love doing and working and hustling.
Non-stop.
Yeah. So I'm loving all that and just feeling great. I do have a story for you.
Please tell me.
Well, seeing as we've gotten into the habit of starting most podcast episodes with poop stories.
Great.
I've got one for you.
I'm so excited. Thank God it's not my story finally.
So last night, me and Maya decided to have a bath together, which we do most nights. We have our little bath time together. And I love it. It's the best. But she has gotten into the habit of pooping in the bath.
Great.
On me, which is divine.
Divine.
But last night, I could see her little belly was so full, and I said to Alex, she's going to poop in the bath. And he's like, no, it'll be okay.
She'll be right.
It'll be right. So we get in the bath and we get all comfy and we're playing.
Aww.
And so she's like sitting on my lap facing forward. And then she gets up and like walks around to go behind me. And we do like massage sometimes. So I thought she was giving me massage or playing with my hair.
Yep.
So I'm just sitting there like do. And then I look down and I just see these like floaties of poop coming forward.
Oh, no.
So she'd like gone behind because she knew what she was.
Yeah.
She's now realized, I'm not meant
Did
to
she
do this.
hide to do the poo?
So yeah, she went to hide to do
I was
the
a
poop
hider
in the bath.
too.
So, and then it's this whole thing, it's an ordeal of like, I then have to figure out like, okay, we've got to both now get out and get in the shower. She hates the shower. So it's a whole process of like, get up, you know, get her out, wash her off, wash myself off, then like sanitize the whole bar. It's just like such a mission. And for
so
some reason
much.
she's really like taken to pooping in the bath, and it's just so inconvenient. And I love our bath moments together, so I'm not going to stop having baths with her. I just have to expect
poop baths.
I just have to expect to poop a week, basically. But there's nothing like being shat on, literally.
Nothing like being shat on. I love that so much, and I'm really sorry that happened to you, but I'm also not, because it makes for fabulous stories.
It just adds to the chaos.
Absolutely.
So I'm really excited about today's episode.
Oh, so am I.
We have our second guests ever in studio, which is super exciting. And they are very, very special to me. Two very special human beings who I've known for a very long time. And I wanted to bring them in for various reasons. Firstly, they're just like incredibly, I don't know what the right word is, but like they're just very special human beings who've changed my life for the better. And we work together on our retreats, and they have an incredible philosophy, and I feel like what they're doing is revolutionary, and I wanted our listeners to hear about them, and I wanted you to meet them properly.
I'm very excited.
So we would like to welcome the beautiful Tammy and the amazing Eitam. Welcome to Life Academy.
Hello.
Welcome. Thank you so much for being here with us, guys.
Thank you.
I'm super blushing now.
Do you feel nervous?
Nah, I'm right.
You're okay.
You know what? Eitam loves a good poop story. So
I heard a
many
little
of our own.
I heard a little giggle
With our
going on
girls.
there. So Tammy, you and I have known each other for a really long time. We actually went to school together, and then life took us in separate directions, whatever, never really saw each other. And then you and my older sister ended up becoming best friends because your kids go to school together, and therefore you and I reconnected. And now we're both studying together at the same place, the same subject. And you are also working on the retreats as our incredible chef caterers. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah, well, it's just been an amazing journey for us. Obviously, we've been in food, or I've been in food all my life, hospitality. But this sort of step with the retreats is really something different for us. And I guess at this stage in my life, I'm sure you can speak for yourself, Eitam, but I think it's kind of where the meaning and the purpose is coming in. So we've kind of gotten all the experience and done a lot of things, and now it's like, what, not to be naive, but how do we change the world, and where does that come in now? And I think having kids as well for us was a really, really big, and a big kind of made us think a lot about how we want to raise our children, and also what's happened, like what's gone wrong that now our kids, especially, jumping straight into the food, but just talking about food, and obviously there's a lot of talk about sugar and good food and bad food, and I kind of just...
Labeling.
A lot of labeling, and I felt when I gave birth to my first daughter, I really felt like it wasn't right, and I knew there was a better way to do it. So I'd kind of started researching in the background, and I guess people say things fall into place, but that's kind of really what's happened. There's been a lot of hard work in the background, but it's kind of now all just coming out into the light, and it feels really right, I think.
Yeah, it feels right, and it feels like it's not chore, but it's like not a...
Scary.
It's scary. It's not
Yeah.
things we do day by day, and it's like open us. And I can see on Tammy, she's very glowing when she's talk about it, and it's feel the right things we
You
going
two
to.
are the ultimate power couple. Like, the way you work together as a team is just incredible. And I think this week's life lesson is going to be something around how food can be therapy and how cooking can be therapeutic. Each week we like to do a life lesson because we are at Life Academy. But yeah, you guys are just such a power couple, such a team. Eitam is like watching an artist. I have never seen anyone do with food what he can do, and what he makes it look like, and what he makes it taste like, and the passion that goes into it. And then Tammy bringing her psychology background behind it, and they do.
So this is what I actually wanted to say, especially for our listeners. If you could give just a small breakdown of exactly what it is that you guys do.
Yeah.
Tell us what you do on the retreats and what the vision is for you guys.
So I'll just go back a step and say that in terms of psychology, so my passion has always been about the guest experience. So whether that's at our cafe or in our catering or events or anything like that, it's not just about putting the food on the plate. It's also what is the experience? How are they eating? What sort of colors are we using? So that's kind of where it started. And then we did the first retreat with you where we did the food. And I remember actually saying to you, like, thank you for, taking that chance on us. And you turned around, you were like, it was never, never a chance to me. Like, I was always sure, which actually really shocked me at the time. But I remember saying to you at the time, I'd love to run the food therapy side of things. And you went, yeah, of course. And I'm really passionate about nutrition. And I said, no, it's not nutrition. I don't want to talk to the guests about nutrition. I'm not going to talk about calories. I'm not going to say to them what they should eat or what they shouldn't eat. I want to talk about how their emotions are connected to the food and basically the emotional well-being surrounding it. So I actually wanted to ask you if it's okay. The first question that I ask on the retreat is, what is your first food memory?
Yeah, okay.
And
what is it?
My first food memory, my gosh. It's kind of, I think it's a bit of a mix because I've got, I suppose, my memories of being a little girl and not necessarily, like, I don't think they're my own memories. Like, I was always told when I was a little girl I ate like a sparrow. But then my memories of food mostly is how much I love it. Like, I'm known for loving my food and having like big meals. And when I was a teenager, I'd always be at school like picking at my other friends' meals and stuff. So I've always really loved food. And I don't know if I have like a specific first memory about food. I mean, I know I loved like banana and yogurt, but I also had quite bad eczema when I was a young child too.
Okay.
And that was connected to like all of my favorite foods would flare up my eczema as well.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah. So I think,
I mean, and some people it takes time. Like it's not. Some people they instantly have a memory, and some people they really need to think about what is the first thing that comes to my head. But it's interesting because
with family, I think
you said so many things that are connected to the food that aren't food. So you talked about like the eczema. You talked about the fact that people called you, your family called you a sparrow.
Yeah.
The fact that you loved food. So you had so many emotions and connections to food already without even giving us that first memory. Yeah. And that's kind of where we come from. So that's like where we're saying is like there's so many associations that we make from the second we're born. When a baby cries, they're communicating that they want to eat and that they need food, and it's a survival. Yeah, it's a survival mechanism. So it's crazy to me that we're not paying more attention to that. Yeah, about our connections. So, and this is why we talk about good foods and bad foods, because to me, it shouldn't be about good foods and bad foods. It should be about going more into intuition and understanding how our emotions are connected to our food. So, Dina, your story was so beautiful, and I really think about it often actually because you hadn't thought about it. So when we talked about it and you said your first memory, you said I actually hadn't thought of that memory in years.
Yeah, my first, Tammy asked on the retreats what our first memories of food were. And I was like, oh, food therapy, we're going to talk about, especially me, like for our listeners who don't know, I'm very like, I eat like a super clean diet. I'm a keto girly. Like I know everything about every nutritional package. I read every ingredient. So I was like, oh, they're going to talk to us about healthy eating and how it affects our gut microbiome and all that. Yeah. That's what I thought we were doing. Right. And instead they sat us down and started talking to us about like memories of food and senses and experience of, and it just like took me back. And I was like, oh wow, this is an incredible like pathway into emotional conversations. Yeah. And it's like an all access pass of things I haven't thought about in so long. And so my story was about my grandma and the food that she used to make for me. I think I said specifically, was it the salads or was it?
The first thing you said was, it was the
millie pup. Yeah. So it's a South African dish called millie pup. Yeah. It's like polenta kind of. And I just remember like having that with my mama, with my grandma, and she would make me millie pup. And like I hadn't thought about that in 34 years probably, and it was such a special memory.
And I think like we had someone else on a retreat, on the last retreat we did actually, that she was a little bit unsure, and then she said, I think it was porridge. And I said, beautiful. And I said, what, like, why specifically the porridge? Like, what are you thinking about with that? And she said, and she actually, I don't know if you remember this, Dina, she paused for quite a while. And then she said, it was the only time that our siblings didn't fight. Aww. Like we would sit down and eat the porridge and everyone was silent. And then that was our moment that we had, like the peace, the calm. Peace. And the other thing that I noticed as well, especially around first food memory, was like the amount of detail that people could tell us was unbelievable. Like they would tell us the ceiling height, the blinds in the room, colors. Like they had so many memories around just a food memory.
Yeah.
So
many people had memories of like sneaking into the neighbor's garden and like picking fruit off the tree and like being like naughty, you know, like picking the cherries or picking the blueberries.
Do you know what? I think this might be my own first memory of food is my nan feeding me grapes, and she used to peel the skin off the grapes because I wouldn't eat it. And I remember she fed it to me and I accidentally bit her finger, and I can remember like her scream. I remember the house. I remember like the feel of her thumb in my mouth. Like, wow.
Unbelievable. And I mean, like, I don't know about you, but I can't remember details like that from 10 years ago.
Yeah,
so
no.
It like amazes me that we can associate so much with.
I think it's happened to us as well when you go to, if the grandparents is alive, we go to their house and we smell something. We go somewhere else and we smell it. It gives us a memory. Oh, similar to the place we've been. Or
we get a reminder.
Yes.
And actually quite funny was Eitam, on our first retreat that we did this, Eitam's first food memory. So we've been together for 18 years. And his first food memory, I had never heard him talk about that before. It was the first time I'd heard that memory, which was really funny.
What was your first? What was yours?
With the cucumber? Which one?
Yes, I think it was that one.
Yeah, it's like we talk about when we used to go to my grandmother and they used to do a feast. And I remember this cucumber. It used to be all the time simple things like lemon, cucumber, a little bit of salt, touch of olive oil, and it was the best things ever.
Yeah.
It just used to be a different flavor. It just remind me every time the gathering with the grandmother, with the family, and it's like the best things ever.
There's something about grandmothers and food. Isn't there? There's just such a connection there. And I think what you guys bring is another part of the retreat that then Tammy and Eitam took us on. So like, firstly, we're eating all the meals, which are just like, as I said, pieces of artwork. It's like,
from your baby shower, Dina, that's my first experience of your food, and I was blown away. I mean, I had my daughter there with me as well, and I just remember thinking like, oh, I wish she could eat. I wish she could try this, because it was so delicious, and the way everything was set out was so beautiful. And hearing you before saying like thinking about the color of things and the way that everything was so thought out, so perfectly, and so it was just stunning. And then the flavor of everything was unbelievable. That's my first experience with you guys. Think about that
times 10, because they like fully bring it on the retreat to like another level.
I need to come to this retreat.
I would love you to come on the retreat. But one of the other like really cool exercises that they took us through was Tammy and Eitam presented all these different foods and packages and things on a table. So there was lemons, there was Cadbury chocolate, there was, I don't know, take over from here.
Some cauliflower, some hummus we done, plating stuff.
The basic idea around it was that, especially at the retreat, which was mainly plant-based and very healthy food, the idea was to put things that might be a bit more drastic or extreme on that table, that people might say, oh my God, why is there Tim Tams on the table at the retreat? But it was also to prove a point that like we come to a table and we see Tim Tams or we see favorites and we think, oh my God, it's a bad food.
Naughty.
Can't have that. Or, you know, they might eat it privately, but on the retreat, they'd never eat it in front of each other, you know?
Yeah.
So it was like, that was the idea of like, just trying to, I guess, exaggerate it to see what are our first reactions and our emotions surrounding those foods. And then there was mushrooms and there was bread and there was all different things. And then when we talked about that, we moved to colours.
Yes, and I found that so fascinating. Please talk more on that.
Yeah, so I actually, before I started studying this, I studied gastronomy, which is like basically how we eat, how people eat.
Oh, wow, I didn't know that.
Oh, I thought that too. Which was unbelievable. And it was just more like a professional development thing for me for work, and very interested in how people eat. And I think this is the thing, like at the cafe, I realised very quickly that it's not just a cafe. People come in and you're holding their stories. And I don't know if you want to say this story about the customer with the halva?
With the Persian? Yeah, we have a customer, she's a Persian, and they emigrate like me, they come to Australia and they go out to eat, and she's come to us and said, listen, this is remind me exactly my childhood. Like it's exactly the flavor, the halva. We make like a kind of French toast with some halva. We make some with orange blossom jelly on the side. We make something exciting, and all the flavor. It's very Middle Eastern. Give a connect for childhood, and she's just telling me it's exactly, and I love it. And I take it off like about a couple of years from the menu, and every time then she's come to me, listen, you must put it back. You must put it back. I thought one day I'll make just for you, but it's very exciting. It's very.
Beautiful.
I think it's what's happened to us in a cafe. It's give us to understand what's happened with food.
That was the pathway in us
and
understanding.
this give us the way to come. What you done, and you go to study, and what's happened with me, with my experience life.
Yeah. And I'd love to hear about that, Eitam. And so just for our listeners, you guys run a very successful, fabulous cafe called Boosa in Melbourne. And everyone who goes there just is obsessed with it. You have to go.
I have to go.
It's unreal. And anyone in Melbourne, please go check out Boosa. But Eitam, I'd love to hear a little more about your journey into becoming the most artistic, masterful chef I've ever seen in my life.
Oh, blushing. I just want, a lot of things of the chefing and stuff, it's things that happen with experience of life. It's happened to me, and I find the food is my therapy. As the experience I passed, I'm very open. I've been in the army, and just not go to details, but I've been in the army, and so things happen. And when I started to work with food, I never understand the food is something can help me. I didn't connect it, but years and after years, I feel like something come in my body when I'm touched with food. And I told Tammy a couple of times story when we start open the cafe, because we have a cup of coffee before, and I used to wake up in the morning and I used to go to the kitchen. It's quiet, nobody there, just me, the food, prepare everything, and I feel like freedom. Everything is calm, you control about everything. It's like a concert, and you just like tell the oven to start to do the music, and tell the vegetable to start to like. It's kind of music in the kitchen, and just you by yourself, and I understand food has helped me, and start to talk more and share a lot with Tammy, and maybe you want to tell something about art.
I just think talking about Eitam's experiences, I feel like very grateful that I've been with him the whole time to be able to actually see and experience what he's done, and how every dish to him is an act of love. And I really mean that. If we have a chef that comes in, a new chef, the first thing he says is like, if you don't work with love, you're out. Every plate needs to be plated up with love. And I really understand that today, because food is just so important, and it has such a meaning to people. And from what I was saying before about the stories of people in the cafe, it's like you don't know what people are going through, and we hold so many stories in the cafe, people's stories and lives.
You've got such a community.
It's such a community, and we very quickly realized that. And it's funny because we feel like we help a lot of people, and we also feel like they help us as well.
It's
that's the healing.
And what do you find, what is it exactly that you sort of teach on these retreats with food that you think makes a change, makes a difference? Like what is it that you kind of lead with?
I can give you an example.
Absolutely.
I think if we look into it, they have the art therapy. In art therapy, you just go and paint, and you have a therapist and you share things, or if you go to therapist one-to-one. But when you, example, in a kitchen or some food next to you, and someone touch the food, if it's a dough and use the hand, the mouth start to talk. And it's a little bit different for face-to-face.
It's like a healthy distraction almost. It's like play therapy.
It's a play, but we don't realize it.
Not
and it's
consciously,
I think it's all of us. It's me, it's you, it's every person is go to the kitchen. If I go and you start to cook and have a chat with you about something, this is just start to open.
So it's like being more comfortable to talk about things in an environment, as opposed to just sitting in front of someone in a room that might be a little bit scary or intimidating. So, but it also can be many other things. I mean, it can also be grief. So cooking with grief, we might work with a family that are going through grief, and they want to remake a recipe of a loved one that's passed away, or they might want to just reconnect as a family. There's a lot of things around it, but the basic thing is, emotions and healing through food. in many different ways. Eating, cooking, talking about it.
Smell.
I don't know if you
You
can
look at-
see right
yeah,
now,
you look like
I'm
your
tearing
eyes are
up. I
watering,
think
yeah.
like just the idea of that, it's so beautiful, and I think that's really lovely. I don't know why.
No, I was the same. The first workshop they did with me, I was sobbing.
Yeah.
And I just couldn't stop thinking about my grandma and all the food memories. And also a real sadness that, like, to a degree, food has been weaponized, you know, and there's good and there's bad. And I was like, I don't want that for Maya. I don't
No.
want that for my daughter. I just want food to understand where it comes from. And like, you know, Alex, my partner, he grows his own vegetables, and Maya goes out and picks the tomatoes and she
beautiful.
eats them, and she's so excited, and daddy's growing apples and all these things. And it's like, I don't want like the suffering that I went through with food and the sort of the strict and disciplined way that I dealt with food in my life, I don't want for my daughter.
No.
And when I heard Tammy and Eitam speak about food in this nourishing, non-judgmental way, where it's actually like about the senses and the memories and the experience of sharing and connecting, I was like, this is revolutionary. Like,
I think that's what I feel right now. It's almost like a light switch has been flicked. And for me, I've just all of a sudden realized that so many amazing memories and wonderful memories that I have of my life are connected with my family and food. And like, I think because for me, we've discussed this in the episode where we talk about, you know, our body image and food. And like, I've, for the most part, spent majority of my life just loving food, and I haven't had the same experiences with you. So I think maybe that's why I'm getting so emotional, is because I like having that light flick switch of like, this is all just love and beautiful, and you were saying before, like the freedom of it. I've been cooking for my family, and I don't think I was kind of like, yeah, it's all right, like I don't mind it, but I think I like it more than I realize now, because it does. Like,
maybe
I'm
your therapy too.
maybe a little bit, yeah, because it's touching something in me. I don't know what it is, but I'm very.
You cook a lot. Like
A lot, yeah.
I often compare myself to you because I do not cook a lot. And I'm like, you are cooking all the time. So maybe it is for you something
Yeah.
that regulates your nervous system, you know, the way it does for Eitam.
I think I also, like, I grew up watching, you know, my parents and my grandparents, and everyone was cooking. We always had like home cooked meals, and I remember like Mum always was like, oh, I'm such a terrible cook. And I was like, I remember one day I said to her, I was like, Mum, you make the best baked beans on toast. Like, but that's what I just like, I was always, you know, I love food, and just like connecting that with emotion and people. And yeah, it's, oh God, it's lovely. I'm really.
You might have felt her love from.
You're
Yeah,
getting
that's
it.
it. Like, and that, and
Yeah.
I think that's a similar thing. Like, I'm showing my love to my family now. Like, I'm cooking these meals, and I'm serving it up to my daughter, and like that feels good. And if she likes it, then I'm like, yeah, that feels good.
That's amazing. I remember one of the first things I learned in gastronomy was like when the kings in the past, whatever, used to go to war, they used to have a feast together first.
Oh, wow.
I just thought it was amazing. Like even that had food involved.
Yeah.
Like it's always
very-
a part of
very
bringing
makes
people
sense.
together.
Yes.
It's
It
like a
does make sense.
big business meeting. Sometimes they go for a nice
Absolutely.
meal, and this when the deal is sometimes.
I mean, how many phone calls do we get?
With good food and stuff like that.
How many phone calls do we get, Eitam, about people that call us and say they want catering because it's like to impress someone or to like, you
Yeah,
know,
make
Yeah.
something
deal
special.
or, like,
They call it close the deal.
Close
yeah.
the deal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or have a special
Amazing.
event, or you know, it's
And I think like when you serve, like you back home and you cook for your family and for your friend, it's like just to remind us like our day by day is like very busy. We in busy life,
Busy lives.
and when you come back and you put all the busy life on the side and put your love to the food and get compliment from your family, boom, you've done a big tick. It's
Yeah.
like
And
giving-
connection.
It's
Yeah.
mindfulness. Like
I was about to say it's mindfulness. And Alex actually said to me last night, he was like, I'm feeling like quite disconnected. And I was like, yeah, I am too. Like from each other, we were just feeling a bit like ships in the night, roommates, you know, toddler life. And he was like, we haven't sat down to have dinner together in weeks. And just like the act of like, it's because one of us is like bathing Maya and getting her to bed and da-da-da. But like the act of sitting down with someone and eating a meal together,
It's
like
huge.
that for us is like how we connect in our relationship and how we have deep conversations. And so I said to him, I'm like, yeah, gosh, I'm really sorry. Like I've been eating dinner at 9:00. He's been eating dinner at 7. You know, it's just, and his love language, like he loves cooking. And I mean, he
Yeah,
loves you guys. You love him. There's like a whole Alex love fest. The three of them all just love each other. But for him, it's such a love language. So it's not for me. I wish it was more. And I'm trying to lean into it because I can see for him how passionate he is about growing his veggies and then cooking something from what he's grown. And he's like, he has so much pride in the way he does it. And yeah, I thought to myself last night, like, God, Dina, like, make a bit more effort with this. Like, it means so much to him to sit across from each other and have a meal together.
It's beautiful. And like, I think we think about our kids like growing up, and it's like, you know, you're scared they're going to leave the house. And I think building traditions, like, you know, we got the Shabbat dinner, for example, and things that they want to come back to. It's often, if you think about it, a lot of times surrounded by food. You know, the Italians have the sauce making.
Yes.
What's it called? You know, the
looking for Ali Brandy.
passata.
the passata. Yeah. And like, you know,
I'm Macedonian, and my family we do the whole lamb on a spit at like an Easter and Christmas.
it's such a
and
beautiful memory
Yeah.
for
and
a
you,
family.
you feel like you wait for it
Tradition.
every.
Yeah, that's what we wait for.
these are-
I was
these are
shattered
memory.
this year. All of the grandparents were away for Easter, and I was like, oh, we're not going to have a lamb on the spit this year. Like that's, and this is the thing. Like that's what brings us all together. Like
Absolutely.
Yeah, it's so beautiful. I wanted to ask as well, at any of the retreats, what's maybe one of the most memorable shifts you've seen in anybody with your food therapy?
Oh my gosh, so many.
Well, do you want to start? Or do you want me
No, you
I
go
want to
for
say
it.
the first thing was that after the first retreat, they sent out feedback forms. And I don't know how you got to it, or maybe that was the people, but like they had said that 50% of the retreat was the food, like of the experience was the food, which really shocked us, like genuinely shocked us. I don't know if it shocked you, Dina.
Didn't
it
shock
shocked
me.
Actually, I'm just talking to myself.
I think it's for us. Both of us got
But throughout that whole first retreat, the guests were often coming and talking to us. And it was so, I mean, I think one element was just it was so fun for them to be able to have a private chef for a weekend. And I think that was really beautiful. But I think it was the thoughtfulness and like having someone think about what you're eating all day, every day. I think people are so busy today, so busy that they don't have the time to actually thoughtfully prepare things, think about ingredients. You know, we talked about colours, which we didn't finish before, and I would love to talk about that because those are the sorts of things that we are so busy at the moment that we don't think about. So I think that was the first thing. And then the second thing was once we did start the food therapy program was just seeing people's, I can't explain it, but it was just their body like literally changing. And they would come to us after and say, oh my God, I hadn't thought about that. And I mean, for me, I hope it's something they can take with them on their journey. And it's just, I don't know. It's something.
I find in the kitchen when I was in the retreat, I just find like they come to me and have a chat with me. And first time I just didn't understand what's my position in a retreat and what I'm going. But I need to be the private chef and make the food and just do. And like
No,
speak
you're
up.
so much more than that.
Yeah, and it's just like open and we have a chat and it was lovely. Like each of them was the trio we done so far. It's beautiful people.
I remember last retreat you said you got even quite emotional, Eitam.
Yeah.
Talking about your story.
Yeah, I got
if you don't mind me.
I got a little bit emotional.
You did. It was beautiful. I think as well, like everyone that comes in has food issues of some sort.
Yeah.
Not everyone, I shouldn't say everyone. Majority of people who come in.
But that's the thing. It's not about just the body, right? Like
yes.
It's food issues.
People seem to have a very complex relationship with
Yes.
food. And, you know, our retreats are for women. And I can say the majority of women that come in have some sort of complex issue with food, whether or not it's eating disordered or disordered eating or just having judgments and even Sue, who is my auntie and business partner, she had like this whole like all these beliefs around food. And it really wasn't till we started doing this work with Tammy and Eitam that she sort of had that light switch moment of like, hang on, like this doesn't have to be about good and bad and calories in and out. It can be about memories and it can be about like, I don't know, like so it's such a almost artistic expression. So I think one of the things that stood out for me on one of the retreats was there was a girl who was really scared to try the foods because the foods that Tammy and Eitam present are very unique. Right. It's not like we're not having steak and veg. Like for example, one of the meals is like this, I think you call it the Garden of Eden or something. It's this like cauliflower and kale.
Cauliflower garden, yeah.
It's a cauliflower garden. It's all these like vegetables, but he makes it look like a real garden, and it's like you're eating a garden. And she was quite terrified and uncomfortable about eating certain foods. I think avocado was one of them, and
coconut yogurt.
And
creamy.
it was really incredible to watch her face her fears of eating all these new foods that she'd never had before, and then realizing, oh, actually, I think I like this.
Yeah.
And for all these years, I've, been like really regimented in the way I eat and like fearful of certain foods.
Yeah.
And now I'm realizing, because it's been presented in a different way, I've got a whole new like attitude towards it. So that was really quite beautiful to
That's
watch.
actually kind of led into another question that I have. I think people who have like intolerances, or actual, like if someone has celiac disease,
Yeah.
how you kind of work around that. Like, are you still, because I think that in terms of emotion and stuff, I feel like that
would be so heightened.
There's a lot of like fear that goes in with certain foods, and like, oh, is there gluten in this or is there gluten in that? So how do you work around that and maybe like releasing some of those?
Yeah, I mean...
Do you want to answer for that?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, I think, first of all, it's just to not make any pressure.
Yeah.
It's all right. You're celiac. There have plenty of things out there you can eat and we can enjoy and we can do. And today you can make beautiful bread without gluten and make it delicious.
And you do.
And they have a lot of things out there. It's not, I don't think it's a problem. It's easy.
Yeah.
It's
I think
easy,
we're
just
really
start.
like strength-based approach. That's how
Yeah.
we work. It's like, we don't make it a problem. We don't make it an issue. We have to be mindful that on the retreat we're a group. So it's, as I like to think of it, group work. So we're not really doing one-on-ones with food, but we could do that further on perhaps.
Yeah.
But absolutely, if it's something that they feel uncomfortable with or they want to talk with, we have it on the form before they come to the retreat. So we'll already know ahead of time if it's something, an allergy or an intolerance. And probably, I mean, honestly, Eitam is unbelievable. Like, he will talk to the people, the guests before who have intolerances, make sure they're comfortable with the ingredients. I know you saw that a few times, like over the meals, where he'd go up to them
It
specifically.
was amazing. He'll make like a specific meal for
Yeah.
anyone with an intolerance, but he won't make it feel like pressured. It'll just be like, this meal's for you. And yeah, I think what you guys do so beautifully is that you do cater to anyone's dietary requirements, but it's also not like a big deal. There's no pressure. There's no, oh, this person's vegan, so you're having a separate meal. But Eitam just does it very subtly and beautifully. And then Tammy's sort of there taking us through the group therapy. But I think like what for me was the most like profound thing was, for the first time maybe in my life, I wasn't thinking about food based on its nutrients and calories. I was thinking about it based on its memories and emotions.
And like there was a slight educational, I guess, take on it with the colours.
Yeah.
And
Talk more about
I
that.
want to talk about it because I think it's really important. And I think, I mean, I don't want it to sound, I think there is really evidence based to this, which is, so basically what we did was talk about colours, and I just sort of asked them if certain colours had certain meanings to them. And then I talked
Ask
about...
Alicia.
Yeah. So, I mean, if you think about, so for example, Cadbury and purple,
Yeah.
do you have any associations with that? Do you feel anything?
I mean, honestly, just then I just like felt a little bit sick. If I eat too much chocolate, like I'm someone that eats a small amount of chocolate and I'm like, I'm good with that. So if I think of like a Cadbury block of chocolate, I think like, doesn't do
Amazing.
much for me. I think it's beautiful, but like
Okay. And so, but if I said to you purple grapes?
crunchy, like flavor bursting kind of, yeah.
So like more positive.
More of a positive thing, I
association,
think, yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean, for example, purple is indulgent. Like that's kind of the main feeling that is supposed to be portrayed with the color purple.
Yeah.
So rich and indulgent. So that's why a company like that might use purple as their, and they have it patented. Or is that the word?
Cadbury has a monopoly on the color purple.
They had a big
Yeah.
fight with another chocolate company about, the colour
Darrell Lee, I
purple.
think, tried to do something purple, and Cadbury
Yeah.
sued them because they're like, we are purple, we're royal, we're
ours.
regal, we're this, you know,
Yeah.
it's majestic. It's, yeah, really interesting.
And then we have like brown, which is bread and mushrooms, which is grounding. And then green, which is I think a more obvious one that we've talked about, which is like the eco-healthy. You know, you see a lot of like the salad places and acai bowls, or places like, you know, shakes and smoothies, and you know, they often will use green. And then the one that interests me the most is blue, actually. So if can you think of any foods that are blue?
I mean, blueberries, but they're not blue.
They're actually
purple
not
as
blue,
well.
they're purple.
Exactly. And this
They
is-
look blue to
A
us.
food that is blue? No. Is there a food that is blue? I can't even think. It maybe
I
like
can't
some
think of
kind of a weird
anything.
smoothie or
So
something.
like when we look at the nature,
Yeah.
there aren't blue foods. Usually blue is associated with mold and things
Yeah.
like that. So what we're trying to think about is what our actual intuition, what is our bodies and what is the earth telling us. So we're trying to connect to earth more.
Yeah.
So if you were in the wild now, obviously blue is something you wouldn't be attracted necessarily to eat.
Yeah.
But you might be green. If we think about yellow, it's vibrant, fresh, things like lemons. Red is a very attractive color. So if we look at a company like McDonald's, they might be using red and yellow as like, attract me and I'm fresh and, you know. So it's there's a lot of psychology behind these colors.
Yes.
Yeah. And I think
And the
we all have
marketing,
girls.
the marketing
and the
whips
marketing,
behind
right?
it. Yeah.
So, you know, for me, it's like we all have girls, and I really want
We're all girl
I want my
moms.
kids to grow up understanding these things. So when they're
Yeah.
walking around, they can look and think about those things when they see
Yeah.
brands and companies and
Just having
foods
the
to understand. Yeah.
Wow.
Those.
I love this.
So Tam, you're doing your master's in psychotherapy counseling, is that correct?
Correct.
Have you found any way to sort of bring in the food therapy stuff into your studies, into your group studies?
Yeah, I've done a whole assignment on it.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. I did a group work unit, so I've done a huge assignment on food therapy and group
Wow.
work. And I mean, all my research has only proven to me how amazing this is and how this is really unbelievable to me that it's not existing yet. And actually, you know, I saw a meme like recently that said, isn't it funny that if you're eating normal food, it's a diet now? And I just thought, oh my God, like that's how far we've come, that we're so disconnected. And it makes me really sad. And I think the way that me and Eitam both kind of look at things is like, we have two beautiful girls, but all the children are our children, you know? And I'm really worried about the fact that our kids don't know how things grow. If you ask them a fruit or a vegetable, they don't know where it comes from. Is it from the ground? Is it from a tree? So I think for me, like the approach is like, as I said, strengths-based. It's not restrictive and saying you can't have that, you can't have that. Our kids love, you know, Slurpees from 7-Eleven, but at the same time, I really want them to understand where it comes from, how to cook. You know, I want them to be able to feel confident cooking in a kitchen and cooking real foods. So it can only come from that educational element, in my point of view, and understanding their own intuitions. So
give example like our Keshet, our older one, she's make sometimes the lunchbox by herself,
yeah,
and when she's back from school, she actually finish everything.
yeah,
When we make,
it's different.
It's like 80%.
100%,
and
absolutely.
it's unbelievable to see it.
So
Yeah.
interesting.
So interesting.
Yeah, and they are capable, like kids are capable of these things. Like we think that they're young and they're too little, but it's, you know, I really believe that they're capable, and from the day that they're born, we just talk about food normally. We don't talk about good foods and bad foods. They can have it, sometimes that's okay, you know? So it's just, yeah, the educational side of it, teaching them about different ingredients. I mean, a lot of the things that we do now, like, you know, we went to Adelaide and we went apple picking and we went, like, we're kind of picking different activities, I guess, purposely now to educate them a little bit more.
With intention.
With
yeah.
intention. And doesn't mean they're not going to eat chocolate. It just means that they're understanding more. And that's, I think from my background, like I don't think I had a great relationship with food growing up. And it's been a real struggle for me coming to this point. And I think I really don't want my kids to struggle. So for me, it's a little bit personal, but I can see it everywhere. There's a huge, obviously...
Yeah, it's like there's a huge gap in the market of therapy and how we relate to food. And that's why I think what you guys are doing is just so exciting and amazing. And I'm so honored and privileged that it gets to be part of, you know, my retreats that I've created, because I think you're just, we're starting small. We've only, the retreats are small, but you're helping people so much with just changing this perspective on food and a connection to it. Eitam, I remember you told a story at one of the retreats about the lady who taught you how to cook. Would you mind retelling that story?
I was like 14 and I was looking for something to do. It was a time when my parents divorced, and you feel uncomfortable. It's 14, 13, you back school. You think all the time the kids look at you differently. I go one day with my dad to a cafe and we sit to eat, and just the manager, we have a chat and ask, you looking for someone to work? I really want to do kitchen. He say, you're very young. Give me a chance. Let's walk inside to the kitchen. And he's bring me to the kitchen, and I met the lady. She was then like 40, and she used to be the chef. And I asked her, can you teach me? She said, you're very short. It's not going to happen. I said, you know what? Let's try. I wash dishes. Sometimes you teach me, and I'm happy to wash dishes. She said, okay, let's give it a go. And I think after a week or 2 weeks after, I try again. I said, maybe this is the time to start. And she's looking at me. Okay, we need to bring you a step, and let's start to do it. And she's teaching me everything. She's like, take me and pass me everything about food, and slowly. And I got a lot of things. And until then, she's like, I'm glad I met her, and she's giving me the welcome into food.
Unbelievable.
And
Beautiful.
This is my
Tam, do you cook much at home, or does Eitam do all the cooking?
No, I definitely do. I definitely cook at home. I think now Eitam's not in the kitchen as much. Like when he was working in the kitchen all day, every day at the cafe, like he would never cook at home.
Okay.
But now, like, it's really funny because last year he started taking over the lunch boxes.
Oh my gosh, I cannot imagine what their lunch boxes are like.
Me and Eitam. We're a bit competitive,
the competition.
Okay.
Oh my God. So it was so funny. He started to find this real enjoyment from making the lunch boxes. But then it'd be like, who ate the most from who?
So who won?
I mean,
I
think I'm going to be honest. I think I won, but that's because my kids. No. They get to school in kinder and they eat a lot simpler.
Yes.
I never ever made different food for the kids. We never made nuggets or anything separate. No. We never made separate food at home. But as soon as they go to kinder in school and they see other kids eating it, their food changes. So he tried to be quite fancy at the beginning.
I can just imagine.
Which didn't work well. But then after, obviously, he improved and it's really beautiful, and I love that he has that enjoyment from it because it's rewarding for him to be able to make amazing food for their lunchboxes.
Yeah, but we try to make it now simple. Yeah.
Yeah, and
now we make my lunchbox.
Yeah.
You want to make your lunchbox?
I'm happy to have you guys make up lunchboxes.
We actually
for
laugh
me.
because our daughter likes figs and all these weird fancy foods like pomegranate and pomelo and things in her lunchbox.
We make a poke bowl for school, and she's still
she had a poke bowl yesterday.
Can you imagine showing up to school to a poke bowl? I had a peanut butter sandwich with a banana on top, so then the sandwich tasted like banana because how banana seeps into everything.
I actually love banana peanut butter jam into it, and I just mix everything together. And
But you know what? I was exactly the same. I would have a Vegemite sandwich and an apple.
Yeah.
And then I would we would try and swap with other people, if they had something fun.
I would always try to swap at the calf. At the calf.
But even that to me is amazing how we've progressed, and even lunchboxes, how parents you girls will see soon, but parents have progressed and they're really trying to be healthy and put lots of vegetables and fruit in their lunchbox and much more, I guess, things that are going to keep them full for longer. And so I think that's also a huge thing, the lunchbox.
The lunchbox thing. Yeah, we're not there yet, but we're definitely at the I'm just at the phase where I'm just trying to get Maya to just try things.
Yeah.
So, I'll just put a bunch of things on her plate, and she loves cashews and she's obsessed with blueberries and she loves hummus, and then she really last night I made her bolognese with rice, and she's eating the bolognese with her hands, and it's getting all over her, and I'm just I love watching her eat and just explore these foods, and
Isla loves using her hands as well.
Yeah,
And she's quite adventurous with her food too, I think. So, I mean, I'm quite similar. I don't often make a separate meal between, unless it's like
neither.
very spicy, then I
same.
change it up a little bit, but it's mostly the same. It's kind of, it'll be like the noodles and the meat without the same sauce. But Isla's quite good at trying new things, but then she's also like, she knows what she wants. And if she's not hungry, like, I'm not eating, mum. And if she is hungry, like, she's really
Yep.
intuitively good. And I'm definitely finding at the very beginning when she started using her hands, I was like, oh, the mess. And now I'm just like, get it, girl. Like, enjoy it. This morning she was eating baked beans with her hands. And because she's not well, she's not eating a whole bunch. So I was like, shovel them in, girlfriend.
Yeah.
Get as much food in as you can right now.
I
So-
love like watching the mess. Also, we've got 2 dogs, so I've got permanent vacuum cleaners, so like it doesn't matter.
My dog, for some reason, if there's food on the floor, like he can't find it. We literally like point straight to
You're
it.
like,
I'm
muddy,
"Mud."
it's there.
Like, eat it, mate. It's here. And he's like searching the entire house for it. And I'm like, it's here, sir. Like, come on, mate.
Sir, it's here.
Excuse me, sir. Hello. But yeah.
Stormy and Teddy sit under, my dog Stormy and Teddy sit under Maya's table waiting for the drop down, and they're like, it's like they wait for her to drop, and it's like a competition who can get more of the drops of whatever she's eating.
Oh, I love that.
We were the only ones just cleaning up with the bloody
Yeah.
every time. But I think intuitive eating, I don't know if you guys know Janet Lansbury.
No.
She's my favorite like parenting expert woman.
Ooh, we need to look into her.
She talks a lot about food and eating, and like also that non-emotional eating. So just
Yeah.
like if they, you put it on the table, if they want to try it, they'll eat it. And I think she says you choose what they eat and they choose how much.
Yes,
Yeah.
I love that.
And I really took that with me like on our journey. I love that. So.
I think I do that actually with my, like, I'll make a meal, I'll put it in front of her, and then I let her have as much or as little as she wants. And then she always asks for fruit straight away. She loves fruit so much. And I'll be like, oh, in my head, I'm like, just have a few more bites of the protein. But, I just kind of let her do her thing, which,
I think we all do that in our head.
yeah, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Finish your
if they
plate
want,
or
if
whatever
they
in
want
our
to eat
head,
something,
but-
they eat it. They see
Yeah.
things with kids, like they make their own decision.
And I think we can see like with Keshet now with our daughter, like it's really interesting because like we go to a party and like, I don't know about you, but I remember when I used to go to parties, it was like so exciting. And,
Fairy
like,
bread.
So much fairy bread and chocolate and like whatever. And I would like, oh my God, it was free.
Lollies.
It was,
Yeah.
Whereas like now I look at her and I'm like, I've never restricted her from it. So it's like she gets to a party and it's normal. She knows it's going to be there and it's not like
But it's a
not this
personality.
out of control. No, it's different personalities,
yeah.
absolutely.
'Cause
But it's also
girlfriend
just
is,
that
like,
idea
opposite.
of like our younger daughter's different.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. She's like,
She goes straight for the
Definitely.
sugar.
Yeah,
She
she
is.
actually loves sugar a lot more, but because she's
But
been
we
exposed to it
can-
earlier, I think.
it's all right.
But also, honestly, even Geffen, like with ice cream and stuff, and she doesn't like ice cream cake's too cold for her, so she just won't eat it. So it's like that's actually the thing that's important to me is like she loves sugar, but we're not going to get nervous about it. We're just going to control what she's eating at home. She eats
Yeah.
well at
Well,
Kinder,
maybe you
and
could give me a bit of advice because at the moment, all my daughter Isla wants is chocolate after Easter.
Oh, she's
So,
had a
yeah,
she's
we
had a
ca-
taste.
yeah, kind of like at Easter, I was like, I'll just let her have at it because it's
Yeah.
Easter and like have the chocolate, girlfriend. And now every single day, it's like, Mummy, can I have some chocolate? And if I say yes, maybe a little bit later, let's have some dinner first. It's a full meltdown tantrum, and I was like, I don't know what to do here.
well, I mean, I think like as parents, we want to fix things all the time. So that's the first thing is like, if I were you, I would just say, oh my gosh, I want chocolate too.
Yeah.
And not having to fix it. And at the end of the day, like they're going to have the tantrums and it's okay for that to
Yeah.
happen and just to allow them to express it. And if they're expressing it with you, that's a great sign because it means they're comfortable with you. And the strength-based approach to me is if you want to give it to her, you can definitely say, absolutely, you can. This is what we do with Geffen because our little one loves sugar, like she's obsessed. So we always say to her, you can have it after. Like after dinner, we have a rule at home that they always have a main meal first, whether it's their dinner or whatever it is. They don't have the sugar before the main meal. So we just say to them, you can have a meal and then you can have whatever that is after.
Yeah.
Or maybe you just tell her the story how it's beautiful to wait for Easter to pick a lot
Yes,
of chocolate.
I like that too.
And how
Yeah.
you love it as a child. Maybe she's go with you together and
Yeah.
wait for Easter to
Yeah.
eat plenty of
For a
chocolate.
special time, yeah.
yeah, for a special moment. That's kind of nice,
nice
like the
too, yeah.
story
Yeah.
behind it. I like that.
Yeah. Cool. That's nice.
Yeah, it's hard to navigate, and like
It is, yeah.
it's also the world we're in where everything is like so accessible and there's so much of it everywhere, and it's really tough.
Yeah, this is
Every
something.
7-Eleven we drive past.
Yeah, this is very thing, and what's give us to educate ourselves more with our kids, because things has become like you can bring everything.
Yes.
Everything when I was young, like chocolate, it was like treat, like it was
a delicacy.
Yeah, it was exactly. You don't get it every day.
Yeah.
You get it like in Friday after a nice dinner, we get something. So it was like every day, but now it's like everywhere. You can buy everything everywhere, whatever you want for your kids.
Yeah.
And what do we say? We say like every family has different rules. So it's just whatever you guys
the more
set for
important
your
things.
Yeah. I think that's so true. It is like it's all everywhere. But one thing that, you know, you guys speak about and Alex speaks about so much is like the kids having an understanding of where their food comes from.
Yeah.
And I think that is such a like beautiful sort of way to wrap this up. And I think it's something I'm really trying to instill in Maya, and I know you guys do with your girls, and you know I'm sure you do the same with Isla, but it's like just so wonderful for them to have an understanding of like what you see in the supermarket didn't just land in the supermarket. It wasn't grown in the supermarket, you know, like the work, the harvesting, all of this magic that goes into the creation of food. And then we go to the supermarket and we're lucky enough to buy it off the shelves, but it came from somewhere and it can go as well. Yeah.
Yeah. And I mean, for me, where we're at the moment as well, like, is, you know, we're learning Pythagoras in school. I would also love to like learn how to cook and like, you know, the food. I think that food therapy element would be amazing for kids to understand intuition and eating intuitively, and exactly what you're saying. Where
Is
it
that
comes
kind of a
from.
goal of yours, is like to just branch out? Because you were saying you want to, you know, change the world.
Yeah, I mean, I think like at the moment it's probably starting more with parents and like women, because we're doing the retreats at the moment, and like I think some schools are actually starting with like gardens and things like that, which is really great. So yeah, I think the idea is that we're changing perspective on it, and we're really moving from, I believe that if we move our headspaces and perspectives on food, that the rest will come, you know, like the health and the, you know, there's lots of issues with obesity and things like that. And I think that stuff will change if we can change this first. That's my
I
real
agree with
belief.
that. I really agree with that. Well, it's been such a privilege to have you guys both here. I just love you and think you're such special human beings and love what you're doing. And I'm really excited that we got to have you on the podcast.
Thank you
Thank
so
you so much.
much.
Oh, we brought you
guys.
gifts.
Oh,
Eitam.
yes.
Oh, gifts?
Sorry, wait.
Oh my goodness.
Oh, Boosa.
I got you some
Special
veggie.
little oh my gosh.
Oh my God. Oh my gosh.
forgot to give it to you.
This stuff is crack. It's
Oh my
the
gosh,
best.
it looks so good.
It's so good. So we got Boosa granola. Amazing. Thank
We always
you guys
give that
so
to
much.
the guests at the retreat. So yeah.
Oh, this is beautiful. Thank you so much. And I honestly am so mind blown after this conversation. I learned a lot genuinely through that. And I think just my internal body, like something has clicked for me, and that was really lovely just to have this. I mean, gosh, what was it? An hour speaking to you guys, and I feel like something's changed in
Shifted,
me
right?
already. Yeah.
Yeah, it's
So I
amazing.
think that's huge. So
They're onto something.
yeah, you guys are onto something
They're onto
for
something.
sure. I'm
But
coming to your
I think
cafe
it's our
soon.
experience as well. It's this, well, we own something because we feel it on ourselves.
Absolutely.
And this is what give us.
Yes.
Yeah.
You're so
Believe it.
passionate
You can
about
feel
what
the love.
you do. So
Thank you so
something
much.
we like to finish off with Life Academies, we like to give our listeners a little bit of homework or some recommendations. Do you guys have any? Who wants to start? Leash?
I can start. Yeah, I on my way here in the car, I actually had a little snacky snack of this little crumbled food bar. It's just like a little collagen bar, and it's delicious and clean and lovely. And they also do the Hydromama drinks, which are great for just kind of replenishing you and making sure that you're staying hydrated.
They're the electrolyte ones, aren't they?
Yeah, electrolyte drinks. And I think, yeah, I'm a big fan of them. So crumbled
Yeah,
foods, I
Crumble
think it is.
Foods.
Yeah, have a look into into them, team.
Love it. I'm going to stick on the food theme as well. I'm going to recommend, I think I'm saying it right, Jevity RX, but they do these great guts mayos. I think you guys might have seen them at the retreats because I bring them along. But they do incredible like sauces and bone broths and like sriracha mayo, but like all the ingredients are just so delicious and full of nutrients. So Jevity RX, great guts mayo. I do like my favorite is like tuna, and I chuck in the sriracha mayo and I make like a mix, and then I use the bone broths when I make my soups, and they're just like so delicious. And I'm pretty sure they're an Australian company as well.
Nice.
You guys?
Tim?
Mine would be, we went to WOMAD festival in March. So we
What's
go every year.
WOMAD?
So WOMAD, like World of Music and Dance Festival.
Fun.
So we take our kids there every year. It's our 3rd year this year.
Love it.
And we saw a duo called Wrong Way Up. They're like an Afro disco kind of, yeah. They were just awesome, and I can't stop listening to them. And I actually just recently found out they're actually from Melbourne.
Oh my
They live in
gosh.
Melbourne. I know, I was really shocked. So they're just a real vibe, and yeah, I just thought I would
Share
choose them
that.
today. Yeah.
I'm going to listen to them on the way
That's what's
home.
happening to
Wrong
me
way
at
up. Love that.
I share with you something as well. I just told Tammy as well, like it's something that happened to me every morning. I'm speak with GPT in the morning when I drive.
You're speaking with ChatGPT.
Yeah, we have a chat and we talk about things about myself and get advice, or we talk about any things I want to know, history, because I hear something yesterday and I want to make sure I have enough educate. I just have a chat with them. We're talking on the way to work about 20 minutes
I love
every
this.
morning, and we share things, and it's my best friend.
Wow.
A lot of people have been telling me that ChatGPT has become their therapist or their personal assistant.
Yeah.
So you're just having chats with GPT.
I saw this news story where a couple has used ChatGPT as their couple's therapist.
Yeah, it's
and
a
it's
thing.
like, this has saved our marriage.
Tammy and I are like, we're going to be out of jobs. Do not take our jobs away. But no, yeah, I have seen people using it like as assistants, and like I heard someone saying they were like, I'm going on a holiday to Bali, like put a packing list together for me, and then
Oh, that's clever.
Like just getting
Yeah.
He
GPT.
asks everything, and
So,
like he can
yeah.
do it in his own language. So it's like,
Yeah, this something
Yeah.
helped me out. I'm just speaking in my language, and he answers to me. And if I need to do something, I don't know, I want to go be ready for a retreat, I said, and I give him the menu. I'm just tell him, make me all the menu in English. I pass all the menu in Hebrew and everything.
it's amazing.
It's organized, and I just use it. Yeah,
He also creates images.
everything.
My
very
goodness.
funny.
Fabulous.
Example, if you have a dish, you have some idea, you write them the idea of the dish,
Clever.
and you tell them to make you a picture. It's not going to be, but it gives you some way to go to the inspo.
Yeah.
For the fact that you, Leash, love cooking so much, you could probably get some cool just like recipe ideas.
Yeah.
Sure. I've got these ingredients in my fridge. What can I make?
That's seriously, yeah.
Stop
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
Yes, I'm going to do that.
Yeah, give it a go.
Amazing.
Or
and
just
see.
message Eitam. And
Yeah.
Yeah. he'll be
help me.
like, you want to make the secret garden?
No, I'm also another recommendation. Go to Boosa. Go
That
Boosa.
is the biggest wreck of all. Go to Boosa.
I'm going. I'm booking in. I'm coming in.
We can have our next meeting there.
Yes, please.
Or come on the self-retreat, even better. And then you get the
yes.
full
you get a
experience.
full
Full
weekend.
experience. Hell
Yes.
yeah.
Thank you guys so much for being here
Thank you.
and for giving us a beautiful life lesson around food and food therapy. And I'm just really excited for our listeners. I think we have a demographic of, I'm guessing, a lot of women who have definitely had issues with food or complex relationships with food. And I just think it's really cool for them to hear these kinds of conversations. So
Really
thank you
beautiful
so much.
conversation. Thank
Thank
you
you.
so
Thank you for
much,
having us.
guys. I think the bell's going to ring.
Oh, the bell's about to ring. Class is dismissed.